Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, and also via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming from our studios in Trinidad. Sutras of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra come back to the existence, returning back to the existence. In rain, during a dark black night, in rain, dark black night, enter that blackness as the form of forms. When a moonless night, moonless rainy night is not present, is not available. First, in rain during a dark black night, enter the blackness of form of forms, and when moonless rainy night is not present, close your eyes and find blackness before you. Opening eyes, see blackness. So faults disappear forever. Wherever your attention alights, wherever your attention alights. At this very point, experience. In rain during a dark black night, enter the blackness as the form of forms. This is the first part. And when it is not a rainy season, when moonless rainy night is not present, then close your eyes and find blackness before you. It is like entering the dark river. Opening eyes, see blackness. So faults disappear forever. Whenever your attention alights, at this very point experience. I have heard once a doctor, a well-known historian, eminent scholar, was staying in a village. This was the postmaster, the old postmaster of the village became curious about this old doctor. He was curious to know what kind of doctor he is. So one day he asked, "What kind of doctor are you?" The man said, "I am doctor of philosophy." The old man never heard about the doctor of philosophy. He was puzzled and said, "I have never heard of any case of this disease here." What the old man did, postmaster said to the doctor, "I have never heard of this disease, doctor of philosophy. We know the doctor of heart specialist or different fields. Do not laugh about it, because that old postmaster is right. Philosophy is a kind of a disease, of course, Doctors of philosophy are not doctors. Instead, they are perfect victims of a disease. Philosophy is not a specific disease, so you cannot think in terms of cases. It is born with human beings, born with you. It is as old as the human mind, and every human being is a victim, more or less, because thinking leads nowhere and it leads you in vicious circles. You move much, you are expert, you can move fast, but you reach nowhere. It is like moving on the map, the line of the map of a country. The map of the country tells you something about the country, but it is not the country. This has to be understood very deeply, because if you cannot understand and feel this, you cannot jump into the realm of meditation. Meditation means a very different approach which is against antidote to philosophy. Philosophy means thinking. Meditation means a state of non-thinking. So philosophy is thinking, meditation is non-thinking. Both are polar opposites. This is just human, to think about questions and try to find the answers. But philosophy comes with no answers. Science comes with certain answers. Religion comes with certain answers. But philosophy comes with no answers. And all the answers that philosophy appears to come are just facets. If you go deep down into them, you will find more questions are arising and nothing else. So every answer leads to more questions and the process goes on. Science comes to certain answers because science depends not on thinking but on experimentation. Science is experimentation. Thinking is used as a help only, but the basis of science is experimentation. That is why science gives some answers. Philosophers, known and unknown, have been working for centuries, and not even a single answer has evolved. Not a single conclusion has been achieved through philosophy. It cannot be achieved. The very nature of thinking is such that you go on thinking as a help towards experimentation. Something can be achieved. That is why science comes to certain answers. The very nature of thinking is such that you use thinking as a process, as a help towards experimentation. Before doing the experiment, you think. But religion also comes to certain answers because religion is also experimentation, experiment with the inner. Science is the experiment with the outer. Science experiments with objects and religion experiments with subject. There are two things, subject and object, but both are experimentation. Both depends on experiments. Between these two is philosophy, just pure thinking, abstract thinking, and no experiment. You can go on You can go on, but you will reach nowhere. Abstract thinking, speculative thinking, thinking ad infinitum, you can enjoy. You can enjoy the journey, but there is no goal. You reach nowhere. Religion and science are similar ways because both believe in experiment. Religious experiment is of course deeper than the scientific experiment because in science the experimenter himself is not involved, because science experiments with objects. He is working with tools, working with things, working with objects, but he remains separate from all these. He remains out of the experiment. Religion is deeper science because the experimenter himself becomes the experiment. There is no tool which are separate from him. No object are lying outside him. It is the experimentation within with himself. He is both the tool, his object, his method, his everything. And he has to work upon himself. That is the reason that the sages have discovered the mysteries, unraveled the mysteries. There was a scientist, a physician of the inner, of traditional medicine. His name was Lukman. He used to sit down with the plants, meditate, and then inquire what are the benefits of this plant as a medicine. And that's how, through his meditation, he discovered the qualities of 100,000 plants. Something like this has happened in the West with Edward Casey. He was sick, and in a state of intoxication, unconsciousness, he used to go in the state and discover about the treatment for various diseases. And that's how he started. When he got sick and in a state of unconsciousness, he started calling the names of the medicine that will cure him. And that's how he discovered that. His process was different. So religion is a deeper science because the experimenter himself becomes the experiment. There are no tools which are separate from him, no object which are outside him. He is both his tools, his object, his methods. He is everything, and he has to work upon himself. It is arduous because you are involved. It is arduous. If you are studying for something which is outside you, it is easy. And because you are involved, the experiment will not remain experiment, it will become experience. And out of this experience will emerge realization. The religious person, the master is involved himself. The experiment then, when you are involved, the experiment itself becomes an experience, and out of that experience emerges realization. In science, the experiment will remain an experiment and will remain an experiment. The scientist is not touched by the experiment. he will not be transformed by it. The scientist will remain the same, but in religion, passing through that experience, you will become a different person altogether. The experiment becomes the experience, and experience lead to realization. You cannot come out the same. You are bound to change. That is why religious experiment becomes experience, and through this experience, whether in meditation or anything else, you come to the stage of realization. And when you have realized different states of life, you become a realized one. Remember this. You can go on thinking about God, about soul, about the world. You may make believe that you know something about God just by thinking about, and that will be false. You cannot know anything about God. In order to know, you can know anything about water, but only when you drink the water, it will do something to you. So thinking about God will be false. You cannot know anything about God because the word about is absurd. You know God, but you cannot know about. That about weaves the realm of philosophy. The philosophy revolves around this world about. You know about something, but you do not know anything. How can you know about God? For example, how can you know anything about love? You can know love. You cannot know about love. Knowing about love is philosophy, because about means someone else knows. You believe in his knowledge. You collect and gather opinions. You say, now I know about God, I know about love. All knowledge which is based around about is false, dangerous, because you can be deluded by it. You can know God, you can know love, you can know yourself, but forget about. Forget the word about. That about leads you to the realm of philosophy. Upanishads say something, Vedas are something, Bible says something, Quran says something, but for you that will become about. Unless it becomes your experience, it is futile and wasted. You know a lot about love. You have read many things about love, but are you love? Is love your experience, your realization? You know so many things. The ways and means of sex. Is this existential bioenergy, how it functions, how it transforms? Is this your realization? Because you are moving in the outer realm of philosophy, there is so much chaos, there is so much disturbance, and that is your life, where it has led you to. This point must go deep within you. because you can go on thinking, and mind is such that you can start thinking about meditation. You can make anything an object for meditation. For thinking, even about meditation, you think and you go on thinking about it, but nothing will happen. I am talking about so many methods. There is a danger. You may start thinking about these meditation techniques without experimenting about it. You know one thing, swimming is very important. Swimming is meditation. How? It can become meditation. How? There are two forces. The gravitational force that pulls everything down towards the earth. There is principle of buoyancy. The gravitational force was discovered by one, and the principle of buoyancy was discovered by Archimedes. He was in his bathtub and he felt floating, and he ran out saying Eureka. So what does, when you are in the swimming pool, the gravitational pull of the earth is not working on you. And when the gravitational pull of the earth is not working on you, you are floating. And meditation is floating when the gravitational force of the earth is not working on you. So swimming can be used as an important technique of meditation. You can think about it, but you will not, this will not lead you into meditation until you go into this process. So I'm talking about so many methods, and there is a danger, because you may, by nature, you may start thinking about these methods. You may start becoming knowledgeable, but that will not do anything to you. That will not be good. Now, not only is it of no use, it is dangerous as well, because meditation is experience. Knowing about is worthless. Meditation is going into it. As I said, swimming is meditation, floating. When you are floating, gravitational force of earth is not working on you. And then what it is happening? It is not disturbing you. You may have not have observed. Whenever you think, what happens? Whenever you think, you become closed. All that is present drops. You move into a different path, dream path in your mind. One word creates another. One thought creates another. You go on moving, and the thoughts keeps on moving as of a chain link. The more you move, the more you go on in thinking, the further you are going from existence. There is no other way. It is a dream state. It is dreaming in concepts. So it says, come back to earth. Religion is very earthly in this sense, not worldly, but very earthly, substantial. So the sutra says, come back to the existence, return back to the existence. Life's problems can be solved only when you become deeply rooted in your experience, flying in thoughts, moving on the circumference. You move away from the roots, and farther you move away from the roots, the lesser is the possibility of solving anything. Further you will remain confused about everything, and everything will become more entangled. And the more entangled, the more you think, and you will move further away. Beware of thinking. Now we will go into the techniques. What the different techniques in the rain during a dark black night. Enter the blackness as form of forms. One by one we'll discuss this. Only this much for this morning. Until then, take care.